When people lose in TFT, they often blame bad luck. But I am telling you, there is always something you could have done differently. And that's exactly what happened to me this weekend. I was playing in the Defender Cup, which is a TFT tournament, and I felt like I got pretty bad luck overall in the games. However, looking back at it, I definitely still could have qualified for the next round had I just played better. Even despite all the garbage bad luck I got throughout some of these games, I did a soft calculation of if I did something differently in one of these games, one of those games, and the placements got changed by 1 or 2 places because of those mistakes, I actually would have qualified despite all this garbage donkey doo-doo luck. So in this round, there are 128 players, and the top half make it through, meaning you just needed to be top 64. To be top 64, you just needed 27 points. I ended up having only 21 points because the placements I had were 4th, 7th, 1st, 5th, then 8th, and 8th. But again, all those scores can be improved a lot, as we'll see right now. I'll show you all the mistakes, all the major ones that I made in every single one of these games. What annoys me the most is that some of the mistakes I made were mistakes that are just so simple to see when you look back at it, or even as you're playing it, that it's just laughable that they happen. So the first mistake I made was not even like a gameplay mistake, it's just a strategic mistake. I played compositions in the tournament that I've either never played before or only played once before on ladder. I always stress that you should play what you know, and I've been practicing ability power comps all week even though they're supposed to suck. I could blame augments for this because in this game I got Sure Shot Crown, which is probably one of the best augments in the game, and it's for one of the best comps, but I'm only semi-practiced on Sure Shots. So if we take a look at my spot here, we actually have an extremely good start for Sure Shots, which is why I just wanted to play it anyways. We have an IE, we have a tier for Redemption for our mech, and Sure Shots are just the best comp right now. I guess I can't blame myself for going this path, but if I just took Band of Thieves or Radiant Relics, I easily could have played an AP game, which is what I'm really used to right now. To be honest, I don't think this play what you're comfortable with really applies to this first game, but you'll see in the later games that it definitely does. Because I have such an ideal start for Sure Shots, it wasn't really that big of an issue that I went for it. Here's where the issue begins. So, as you guys can see, I am on a full win streak in Stage 2. Everything is going perfectly well in the world. I have an augment for one of the best comps, I have Redemption, I have IE, I have full health, I have a lot of gold because I win streaks. What could go wrong this game? So what I've been saying in my leveling guides, and pretty much I've been doing this since set 1, is whenever you're on a win streak in Stage 2, on Stage 3-1, you just level up to level 6, because the gold you lose from interest, you gain back in the win streak. And in this case, I only lose 1 gold worth of interest because I'm at 47 gold. And what bothers me the most is that in the round before, in 2-6 and 2-7, I even said, oh sweet, I'm on a win streak, and I scouted the lobby before. I beat everyone else who is also on a win streak, and I got a perfect item drop from the Krugs. What do I do though when the turn actually comes around? I don't level up. Guess what? I face someone that actually beats me, and if I had leveled up, I would beat him and keep my win streak, and we get 3 bonus gold for every single round, and 1 bonus gold for winning the round. So overall, this mistake probably costed me, I think I calculated it to be around 7 gold. So whenever you are in a situation where you're doing a fast 7 or fast 8, let's say, and you're like, oh, I could level up and still have, let's say, 30 gold to roll down with. Well, instead, in those situations, we'd have 37, which is, you round it up, it's like 10 gold more. It's a pretty big implication, right? So this mistake is just so crucial to the game because when you're trying to play against people in a tournament, they're there, they're prepared. They're not here to like mess around that much. Granted, they're not playing perfectly either, but the mistake I made was literally a mistake that I wouldn't make 3 years ago. But this is how you calculate how much gold I actually lost. So we see that we win the round in 3-2. So had we had a win streak, we would have gotten 4 gold from 3-1 because we won the round, plus we get the 3 win streak gold. And then we get 4 gold again in Stage 3-2, where we get the win streak gold and bonus win gold as well. So that's 8 gold total that we would have had. However, since we won round 3-2 anyways, we would have gotten the bonus gold for winning the round. So that's how it ends up being a 7 gold difference, because I only got 1 gold when I could have gotten 8. We saw the effect immediately because when we leveled up to level 7 on Stage 3-5, we had 41 gold when we could have had 48 to roll down with after leveling up. Rolling approximately 50 gold is a lot different than rolling 40 gold on level 7 because you could stop rolling after a certain point and then eco back up much easier. Fast forwarding a little bit, we are in the final round and I'm facing a Talon and Hacker Camille player, so I don't want to put my carries in the back line. However, I forget to put a tank in the back line, so both the Camille and the Talon end up attacking my backline carries anyways, as you can see that Camille just wiped everyone out here. Had I just put Echo in the backline, he would have been able to tank the Camille and all would have been fine. I don't know why I made this mistake. Maybe I just didn't have enough time to swap everything, or maybe I just like panicked, but this costed me, looking at the HPs, potentially a second or a third place despite the prior mistake from before. So we end up getting fourth here, but from this fight alone, had we won this, we would have gotten third place, and maybe with the better econ we had from the mistake on 3-1, it's easily a second. We probably would not have gotten first place this game because the person in first got a really strong augment combo. Let's talk about the second game now. So we had Luden's Echo again. We had Laser Core and Underground Crest, or whatever they're called. So it's obviously Laser Core. We have great Z items and we have the Laser Core emblem, and it's a good comp right now. However, the bad play actually happens the turn before. You may notice I have a bunch of options here, and I don't end up buying this Ashe. Instead, I buy Nasus and Galio for Mascot, despite having all attack speed and attack damage items. What's up happening is that the first 3 rounds, 2-1 through 2-3, I play without 3 Laser Core despite getting a Yasuo from the Crest and having the Crest. I just simply don't have a third Laser Core, and it's really unlucky because there's Renekton, there's Senna, there's Ashe. It's a lot of options, and not hitting any one of them during the first couple rounds naturally causes me to go on a big lose streak when I really just think I shouldn't, because I lose all these rounds really hard because I have 0 synergies on my board. It's not until stage 2-6 where I'm finally able to run the Laser Core unit. The next mistake comes on this augment round. I end up taking wise spending, and because I don't play this composition, I don't play Laser Core, I roll really slowly because I don't know what units to go for, and I'm very dizzy thinking about all the leveling patterns. What I should have done here instead is just re-roll the augment and hope for something else. Next, we're first pick on the carousel, but the other person across the side of the map just wanted Spatula, and we really wanted it too, and unlucky because a lot of other games, Spatula is not taken at all. It's now 4-1, we're just rolling with wise spending to get to level 7, and again, here's my inexperience with a comp. We all know wise spending is great for 3-cost rerolls, so I probably should be playing around Senna, but you guys can look at my items already. I actually build a lot of Z items. I have an Edge of Night, and I'm probably going to build a Titans or something like that, but I really should be focused on building Senna items, not Z items. So even though I do end up getting a Z2 this game because of the augment round the next turn, if you're playing wise spending, you probably should be playing around 3-cost units. And again, since I don't really know how to play this comp that well, I only know the bare basics of it, in weird situations where you get a couple of goofy augments, you're not going to know 100% what to do, at least not immediately when you only have around 30 to 40 seconds per turn. We end up losing this game. We get 7th because there was also a 5-cost augment, and I didn't really hit Mordekaiser in the 5-cost augment on 4-2. So when you're playing Laser Core, that also hurts as well because you're really just trying to go for 9 Laser Cores, so not getting the Spatula, not getting Mordekaiser on the augment, and I'm facing this guy with Leona 2, Urgot 2. It's a little unfortunate. So we take a 7th there, but with better play, perhaps a 6 could have been possible here. Again, we only needed 27 points and we ended up getting 21. So that right there is already 2.5 points that we missed out on. I say 2.5 because this game is 1 point and the game before it could have either been a 3rd or a 2nd, so we'll just put it in the middle right there. We ended up winning game number 3. I mean, this is my spot on stage 4-2. 2-star Samira, 2-star Echo, so I have like a tank 4-cost 2-star and a damage 4-cost 2-star. I have like plenty of gold still, and I have trade sector. This game's just the first. There's not much to go over here. Even if I did make a mistake, it wouldn't have changed the outcome. Game number 4, there's not really too much to go over either. We're running Kai'Sa reroll, and we just end up not getting that many copies of Kai'Sa. We had a very good start for it actually, and we're like decent HP. We had okay-ish items, but we were also uncontested Kai'Sa. But if you don't hit Kai'Sa 3, it's just very hard to top 4. We end up getting 5th, which is already really good. I mean, when I fast forward to stage 6-1, we have Cho'Gath 3, we have Rammus 3, but like we only have 5 copies of Kai'Sa, again, despite being uncontested. And yeah, sometimes life just hits you like that. It's unlucky, but again, it's just part of the cost of playing the comp. I can't expect to go first place every time because I hit Kaisa 3 and Rammus and Cho'Gath 3. But even though there were mistakes, none of them were really that major because, again, I am very familiar with the comp, so that's why I'm able to turn like a Kaisa 2 game into a 5th in the first place. Going into game number 5, we were in a very good spot. If the tournament ended right there, we would have advanced to the next round. So with that in mind, I really shouldn't try to just win out. And the first mistake here is on stage 3-2. I take Last Stand, which I think is the right choice, but Last Stand is a augment you take if you want to get first place. So if we're playing regular TFT or if this was the first round, I would take Last Stand here. But I really don't need to do that. I feel like I should have just gotten Rich Get Richer and just played for Econ, or just play Second Wind because I'm playing Mech and Second Wind's very good for the comp too. Instead, I go for Last Stand, which is a 1st or 8th augment, and because of that, I end up going 8th. Who would have thought? It was a tragic game because we level up to level 7. We have 60 gold to roll down with on level 7 playing the Sure Shot comp with hopefully Mech Frontline because we have the BT and Redemption already. But we roll down this tremendous amount of gold, and we just don't end up hitting. And again, I'm rolling very slowly because even though I know the comp, I played it a couple times before, I've just been practiced on other stuff. So I don't end up hitting Set. I don't end up hitting Samira. I get a Senna 2 at least, so that's something. But again, you're just rolling down. You don't see Set. And then I scouted around later on, and everyone else, they had Set, they had the Samiras, and it's just really unfortunate. Didn't affect me yet, though, because I was like, you know what? On the augment, champion augment in 4-2, I'm going to get Samira right here. And then it just ends up being a 3-3-3, which is really unlucky because I should take Absolution, right? Because I have the Senna already. However, there's one little caveat, and that is when I scouted around, someone else already had 6 Sennas. So I just can't end up taking that because I'm not going to hit Senna 3. Look right here, and we'll see that this person has 6 Sennas, and he has the mech already. So it's like, how can I possibly take this augment? It is just not going to be very good. So I should have either re-rolled or I don't even know. Like, there's not much you could do in this situation. I feel like I just got Mort Dogged. Like, was I supposed to re-roll the augment to get the Senna support one or maybe a Riven augment or something like that? I want to play the mech, so like none of those really matter. So I end up taking Evasion, and a lot of people are playing attack-based compositions, so it isn't horrible, right? But like, just getting a not 4-cost 4-2 champion augment just completely ruins my game because when I rolled down on 4-1 at level 7, I just didn't hit, and we're at 32 life. So like, how am I supposed to stabilize my board right now? So the big mistakes here was 1, taking Last Stand, 2, not rolling down all the way to 0 on 4-1. Maybe if we rolled down to 0 on 4-1, we would have hit maybe like a Set or like 1 Samira or something like that, and then play 4 Sure Shots or something. But how many placements do you think this costed us? If we took Second Wind or Rich Get Richer, perhaps we would have maybe gotten a 6th or a 7th instead of an 8 because we would have had either a useful augment that's not 1st or 8th in Second Wind, or just more econ to hit the desired units that we want. I mean, like, just look at our final board. It's like one of the weakest things I've ever seen. So do we chalk this one up as a 7th or 6th? I'll leave it at a 7th for now, but we'll put like an asterisk there. It's just really unfortunate because we're going into the final game and I finally have a blue buff start, but then none of the augments actually work for ability power comps. I get Unrelenting Force, which I should have taken here, Stacks on Stacks, and Hextech Retribution. Keep in mind, in this game, we pretty much needed a 2nd or a 1st in order to qualify. So even though I make mistakes this game, I can't really fault myself for doing so because I'm really just going for a 1st or 8th. So I do an aggressive reroll here, trying to hope for maybe like an Annie augment or something like that, anything that has to do with ability power. I end up getting rock solid, and then I'm just like, you know what, I'll just force Yumi, and if I hit, I hit. I don't really think that's a mistake because, again, I just needed a 1st or 2nd here, and with those choices, with the blue buff start, like, there's not really too much I can do. Even though we don't end up hitting this game, even though we went 8th in this game, I'm not really mad about the last game because this one, I just had to do what I had to do. But let's take a look at the scoreboard. So we ended up getting 21 points. We need 27 to qualify, and with the theoretical conservative estimates that we had, where we place 1 place higher in game 1, 1 place higher in game 2, and 1 place higher in game 5, all we would need to do is get a 4th in game 6 in order to qualify. While getting a 4th may seem like a difficult task, it's really not in the final round because you have idiots like me who are just trying to play 1st or 8th, so playing for a 4th is actually pretty manageable. Also, in the first game, we debated that one was actually maybe like a 2nd instead of a 3rd if I didn't make both mistakes. And if that were the case, I would just need a 5th to qualify. If we take a look at a not so conservative theoretical outcome, we would score 2 points more in game 1, 2 points more in game 2, and maybe even 2 points more in game 5, which would mean we just need to get an eighth in this last game to get to 27 points. All in all, just looking at the games, it just really was my fault. Despite all the bad RNG, I could have just played better. And I'm not even talking about big brain plays. I'm just talking about very simple stuff that when you look back at it, it's just like, how could I not do this, you know? And I guess that's just what really bothers me because, like, wow, it's just such simple mistakes that I never make that often, at least, you know? Especially the first one, leveling up or not leveling up to level 6 on 3-1 when you're win streaking and you scouted and you're stronger than everyone else, and then losing the round by like 1 auto attack because you didn't level up. Like, that's completely ridiculous. But hopefully this video helps you guys like check some perspective on maybe some of your games. Like, maybe it wasn't luck that caused you to go 8th, because I watch a lot of other people play, like some of my friends, and they do badly one game and I'm watching, and I might not be like saying all their mistakes, but like I see a lot of mistakes, and that's the reason why they couldn't have gotten 6th instead of 8th or something like that. This is a bit of a different video, but I think this definitely would help a lot of people out. You just have to recognize that even though there is RNG in the game, I'm not saying there's not, right? But it's not the reason why you're stuck in whatever elo you're in. Like, there's so many easy improvements you can make. Like, we didn't even go over advanced mistakes. We just went over very simple mistakes. So if we go over all the advanced mistakes that I made in these games, like, I probably could have gotten like 3 extra placements in every single game. Like, it's not that difficult, you know? I could go over the bad luck that happened in this game. For example, we have a Nyla 1 on stage 4-6 when she's our primary tank, and this other guy has a Fiddle 2, Set 2, like, what is wrong with this game, man? But again, we're not going to look too deeply into game 6 because I was just praying to God that I would just magically get a first. But that didn't happen, so all in all, did not move on in Defender Cup. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys later.